Hello guys, I'm the Kegman. Welcome to Kegman Plays and welcome to this Football Manager 2020 experiment where we're going to see what Mikel Arteta does at Arsenal according to Football Manager. Using the in-game editor, we've moved Mikel Arteta, as you can see, to be the manager here. Obviously, Mikel Arteta has not had any experience as a manager at the highest level, so it could be interesting to see what he's going to do. The guy does know Arsenal rather well. He, after all, did spend, how many years at Arsenal? He spent 5 years at Arsenal before he retired. I mean, that's a fairly decent amount of time. He probably knows the club fairly well. He only left 3 years ago, so I should imagine a lot of the youngsters coming through know who he is, and obviously he knows who they are. So I should imagine he's going to do fairly well in real life. He's been under Pep Guardiola for the last few years, learning, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do. I do fear he's going to be like another Ole. He's going to come in strong, and it's just going to go to pot. But it'd be good to see him do what Guardiola did at Barcelona, go from being a footballer into an assistant manager, under 23s manager, into the first team manager, and then obviously do a great job there. And obviously then he's done a great job at Bayern and Man City since. This season's a little bit suspect, but that's only compared to the last season. He can't really... Yeah, anyway, never mind. This is about Arteta, not Guardiola. This is Guardiola's run at Arsenal. He is a model professional, which will help him out. He prefers playing a 4-2-3-1 wide, which with the Arsenal players available to him could be doable. In fact, it would be very doable. Man management's a little bit low. Motivation's a little bit low. Judging player ability potential is okay, and knowledge is okay. It's going to be interesting to see what he does. He has got his Continental Pro license. But it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be an interesting one. Now, Arsenal are predicted to finish... where are they predicted to finish? Let's have a look. Season preview. They are predicted to a 5th place finish. So we're going to consider anything above 5th place a success. Anything below, maybe not. But we'll simulate 5 years. See what Arteta does. Maybe he'll get a new contract. His contract expires in 2 years' time. Maybe he'll get a new contract. If he doesn't, he might move on. But we'll just follow his career for a little while and see how it goes. But yeah, before we go on, getting into the next, you can tell I've scripted this all, can't you? Oh yeah, I'm such a professional. Before we carry on, we'll see where we go. If you're not following me yet on Twitch, please do. You're missing great content such as this. We're going to slow this down a bit more. Watch Jordan. Bearing in mind we're attacking this goal, I'm going to fucking clear it. The fuck are you doing, you absolute... And if you're not following me on Twitter, there's links below down there for Twitter and Twitch. But we'll come back after a little cut and we'll see where we stand. Right, so guys, it's been a year. Let's go and have a look at Mikel Arteta. He is still the manager of Arsenal by the looks of things. Has he improved his stats? I think his stats have improved slightly. Man management's gone up and motivating, I think, with 13 and 10 last time we looked. But that's not what we need to look at. What we need to look at is how Arsenal done. They were 3rd in the Premier League. That's not too bad. So, they were predicted 5th. We said that, his first season... If he manages to beat that, we'd consider his first season a success. He was actually close. It weren't for goal difference. He was very, very close to getting 2nd ahead of Man United there. Same points. Beating out Liverpool, who obviously got 4th. I imagine Klopp got sacked for that. Chelsea 5th, Tottenham 6th, and Everton 7th. Wow. No surprises in the bottom 3, unfortunately. It would have been nice to see one of the bigger boys maybe sort of fail. I have seen Leicester be relegated several times now on FM20 this year. But no, it's a good start for Arsenal. Let's have a look at the schedule. Have a look, see how they did. So we don't need to worry about friendlies. It did get off to a flyer, though, here. Everton 2-1, Tottenham 3-1, Crystal Palace 2-0. Drew against Watford there, 3-1 there. Beat Copenhagen in the Europa League Group K. Beat Fulham in the Carabao. Sheffield United in the Premier League. Spartak Moscow, absolutely smashed Spartak Moscow. Their first loss of the season came against Manchester City away, 2-0. Sergio Aguero and Raheem Sterling scoring both of those goals there. They managed to go through the Europa League groups into the next phase. They lost on penalties to Manchester United in the Carabao Cup quarter-final. Paul Pogba scoring in the 16th. They've had an instant reply from Lacazette in the 17th. Managed to get through the FA Cup third round, replay with Swansea. Beat Southampton in the FA Cup, fourth round. Back-to-back losses to Tottenham and Everton. Tottenham at home, they're going to be rather embarrassed by that. Harry Kane scoring 2. And then Everton beating them 2-1. Iwobi and Calvert-Lewin scoring those goals. They got through the Europa League knockout rounds against Astana. Knocked out by Everton in the FA Cup 5th round. Managed to get past Wolfsburg in the Europa League as well. United then beat them away. Well, Arsenal were away. Got past the quarterfinals in the Europa League against Spartak Moscow. And they lost to Napoli. They actually got through to the final and met Manchester United in the final, but lost ultimately 3-2. Lingard, Victor Lindelof and Gerard Deulofeu. Gerard Deulofeu seems to go to United a lot. But Xhaka and Torreira ultimately scoring 2 goals weren't enough, but they've done fairly well. If we look at the competitions, if we look at the history overview, where can we see this? We should be able to see what they won this year. But I mean, they've done really well. They've done fairly fucking well. Who did they sign? Let's have a look. So when we got to the January window, they brought in Mohamed Daramy from Copenhagen for 1.6 mil. Good young player, developed superbly well. They got him for an absolute steal. They then brought in Arkadiusz Milic from Napoli for £58 million, because what Arsenal need is another attacking option. I mean, interesting signings. I think Damsgaard came in after Arteta, possibly, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't think he did, actually. I'm not too sure. But, no, he would have done, actually, yeah. So, Nordsjælland, Copenhagen, a couple of Danish guys, and then Napoli. Who did they sell in the window? So, they also sold, they sent out Tyrese John Jules on loan. They sent out Florian Bergon on loan, and they sold Sheikh Kolasinac to Beijing Guoan for £35 million, up to £39 million there. You may have noticed that the badges are changed. I've actually put in some graphic packs. I haven't got around to doing the kits yet. I'll find ones that I like the look of. But ultimately, I would say Arteta off to a decent start. If we look at the overview here, he's had a win percentage of 68%. He played 61-41, drew 10, lost 9. The club scored 126 and conceded 55 in that time, but that isn't too bad. I think as a first season in charge of a club, Arteta has done very, very well indeed. We'll give it another year. We'll see what he does, see if he can improve on that, and we'll come back after this little cut here. Right, so another further year into the future, and Mikel Arteta is still Arsenal manager, and his stats are improving quite rapidly. Man management now 16, motivating of 12. I think his judging player potential and ability has gone up as well, and his tactical knowledge, I think, has gone up by 1 tick to 16. So, how are Arsenal doing? How did they do? They finished 4th in the Premier League this time around. 79 points, same amount as Liverpool. 4 points behind United, and 5 points behind City. 24 wins, not bad. 7 draws, 7 losses. It's not horrendous. We'll have a quick look at the overview for Mikel Arteta to see if he's won anything. Let's have a look here. They've won a cup. They did win a cup at some point. So overall now 66% win percentage, 232 goals scored, 115 conceded. Wow, some money spent there. Right, so what did they win then? Let's have a look at the senior squad schedule. We'll go to the very tippy top. So in the Premier League, they start off with a win and then 3 draws on the trot before losing to Brighton. Not the best start, has to be said. In the Champions League, they've done fairly well against CSKA. They beat Liverpool, they beat Brighton. Premier League, they done well. Victoria, Plzen, and Juventus. They had a fairly easy group, really, when you look at it that way. Juventus obviously going to be the hard ask. They did lose Juventus after drawing with them. They got through to the Carabao Cup 5th round. They're in, the quarterfinal. It looks like they finished fairly well in their group. Obviously, they did not win in the what do you call it? they Group G, weren't they? Group G. They didn't finish very highly. It was a Group H. There we go. They finished second here. They didn't get to the final of the Champions League. They didn't win it, but they got through second. The Carabao Cup semi-final leg 1 and leg 2. So they made it to the final, beating Millwall in the semis. They beat Fleetwood in the FA Cup, and they won against Leicester. And that was the cup they won. The Carabao Cup. Henrik Mkhitaryan and Alexander Lacazette outscoring Leicester there with their 1 goal. Arsenal did then meet Barcelona in the first leg round, or the first knockout round, losing 2-0 at home and then drawing 1-1 away. Not the best result for them. They did go out in the FA Cup 5th round to Manchester City. Bentancur, Almeida, and Aguero outscoring Emil Smith-Rowe and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Not horrendous. They didn't do as well as they probably could or should have done, but they did okay. Let's have a look at the transfer history. We did see Kimpembe over here from PSG for £63 million. Probably a signing they need to do in all honesty in real life. I feel like their defence is one of their weaker things, followed up by maybe a holding midfield. They brought in Martin Calderon from Real Madrid on a free. Again, is okay. He's not going to be amazing. He might do a few things for him. Alex Telles from FC Porto, because, if you've got Kieran Tierney, what you need to do is replace your left back. To be fair to them, though, they probably could use another left back. I feel like Alex Telles is a great signing. Not necessarily money well spent. £37.5 million there. And Viktor Sankov from Dynamo Kiev on the right wing, £27 million. Let's see how he done. He played 34 games, scored 5, assisted 6, average rating of 7. Not too bad. We didn't actually look to see how Telles did in his start. 32 appearances, 1 goal, 4 assists, 7.18. Not bad at all. And how did the Presnell do? 34 appearances, 2 goals, 2 assists, 2 player of the matches, and 7.11. Ultimately did okay. They sold Daniel Bayard to Stoke and Shkodran. I can't ever pronounce his name. They sold Mustafi to Leicester City for 16 million. Martinelli went out on loan. El Neni went on a free to Guangzhou Evergrande. Probably could have got a bit of money for him, but maybe he just didn't want to sign a new contract. Alowu went to Charlton on a free. They loaned out Mikkel Damsgaard to AAB. Sam Greenwood went on a free. Mohamed Daramy on loan. Let's have a look at Daramy. Developing fairly well. He's out on loan in South Korea, Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors. Nathan Tormey, they sold. Kido Taylor Hart, they also sold. And they sent out David Luiz on loan to Partizan. Seems like an odd move, that one. He played 5. An incredibly odd move, I would say. Yeah, a bit of a weird one. But things are going well for Mikel so far. Wonder if he signed a new contract. He has indeed till 2025. He's boosted his wages there as well. We should see how he develops. We'll go for a couple more seasons. Actually, no, we'll go for 1 more season. We'll see if he can do anything in his 3rd year. I should imagine, 3rd years, that's enough for managerials. You see a lot of contracts there, go for 3 years or so. But we'll go forward and we'll see how he does in a year. Speak to you in a bit. So, guys, another year, and he's really improving. Wow. Mikel Arteta is still at Arsenal. He's still on his 2025 contract, 120k a week. His tactical knowledge, everything here is improving wonderfully. Let's see his overall history before we look into the club. So look at the overview here. If it decides it wants to do it, it's already clicked it once. So nothing else has been won. Nothing else has been won, unfortunately. The win percentage has dropped to 63% from 66%. That could be because of European Championships. That could be because of leagues. It could be because of other cups. Ultimately, they scored 321 goals, conceded 170. Overall, favourite of overall favourite. I'm trying to say 2 things at the same time. An overall goal difference, of 151. He has got a favoured 4-2-3-1, I believe it said. Let's go back into that because I've misclicked. 4-2-3-1 wide. let's go to Arsenal. Let's have a look at their tactic. This seems to be their favoured. Yeah, there we go. It's not too bad a team. That De Vries in the team now. They've got this regen Bruce over here. Sankov, Smith Rowe, Saka, Nketiah, Barrow, Torreira, Kimpembe, De Vries, Bellerin, and of course Matt Macey. I say of course Matt Macey. Let's have a look at Matt Macey. Why are you playing? I don't know. So it looks like they got another 4th place. Wow, 9 points off Man City, 9 points ahead of Chelsea, but ultimately a long way off. It looks like Liverpool won the league based on goals for. Is that the way it breaks it down? It seems to be the case, however. Goal difference is exactly the same, points exactly the same. They won less games. But anyway, we need to look at Arsenal. So 22 games won, 8 games drawn, 8 games lost. How did they do in other competitions? They were off to a very piss-poor start here. Losing to United here. They then played Borussia Dortmund in their Champions League group, followed by St. Petersburg and Karabag. Let's have a look how they finished in their group. They did finish top, 2 points ahead of Borussia Dortmund. So they did qualify. They got knocked out in the Carabao Cup 3rd round by Chelsea, so they weren't able to even really mount a defence of their title there. Lost to Zenit St. Petersburg last game of the Champions League group. Probably knew they got promoted by that point or qualified by that point. Got smashed by Man City in the Champions League. So at this point, you know, we're in December. They've only lost 2 games in the league. We've drawn quite a few, which is unfortunate. They beat Millwall and Manchester United in the FA Cup. They lost to Chelsea here. Got a couple more draws. They beat CSK. Well, they drew CSK Moscow and then ultimately won 4-1. Going through to the next round against Juve, which they then got knocked out of. Juve winning 2-1 on aggregate. Alexandro scoring the own goal for Juve. Own goal for Arsenal. And then they went on a really bad run here. The last few games of the season, look here. So they got a win against Leicester, but they lost to Brighton. Well, even then, drawing against Sheffield. They lost to Brighton, a lost to Newcastle, winning against Leicester, a lost to Liverpool, a lost to United, and then 2 wins against Bournemouth and Villa. I should imagine that if those games were losses, Mikel would have lost his job. So we go to the transfer history. Let's see how they've done this year. They signed Feder de Jong from AZ. This will be a new gen of some sort for $6.5 million. They bought Romario Barrow from Porto for $59 million. How did you do? You played 34, scored 2, assisted 5, and you had an average of 7.03. Not too bad. Stefan De Vries for £63 million, who had 35 games, 2 assists, 2 player of the matches, and a 6.99. They brought in Yari Vasharan from Anderlecht for £27 million, 21-year-old. Looks quite decent. Played 31, scored 6, assisted 7. Player of the match in a 6.96. Christian Kjærgaard from SK Brand for 275k. A new gen. I don't know if he played any games. He did not. Danny Vivian from Bilbao for 16.25. Apparently, I don't know who this player is. He's been around for a bit, though. 3 appearances, so not many. He got a 7.27, 1 assist and 1 player of the match. And Takeharu Tomiyasu from Dalian Yifeng for 29.5 million. Probably massively overpaid for him. Might make a bit of money out of Japan, though, because he is Japanese. He played 7 games, assisted 1 and got a 6.83. We can see there's quite a bit of outgoing here. So Alex Tellers, they only signed him last season, moved to Manchester United for £57 million. Rob Holding moved to Crystal Palace for £13.5 million. They then also sold Jordi Osei Tutu, Bienvenu Matondo, loaned out Papastafylopoulos, or Socrates, to Porto, sold Ainsley Maitland-Niles to West Ham for $14 million, Matteo Guendouzi for $12.5. Kieran Tierney's out on loan at Bournemouth. Unfortunate for Kieran Tierney. Should be doing a lot better than that, really. They sold Mesut Ozil for £2 million to Celtic. Poor old Mesut. Mavropanos moved to Ulsan Hyundai for 1.1 mil. They then sold Trey Coyle, loaned out Daramai for another season to Swansea. He's slowly getting there. He's not really getting the time he should get, but you know, he'll develop. They then bought Arkadiusz Milic. Oh, sorry, they sold Arkadiusz Milic to Real Madrid for £79 million, having only just signed him, I believe, not too long ago. When did they sign him? So they signed him with £58 million in the first season. They made a profit of £21 million on him. In his time at the club, he played 28 games, scored 11, which is not horrendous, and assisted 4, and an average rating of 7.03, 7.08, and 6.79. So he probably should have scored a few more, probably played a few more games for the amount of money they spent on him. He did not play that many at all. But yes, Mikel Arteta seems to be doing a fairly standard job. He's not setting the world alight, according to FM. It's probably going to be very much the case in real life. If you'd like to see some more of these, do let me know in the comments below exactly what ones you would like to see. Like I say, if you haven't followed me over on Twitch, please do. There'll be links in the description as well as Twitter. And yeah, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up and give me suggestions down below. See you when I see you, guys. Take care. Bye-bye. Here's Vingard. Here's the ball in. Smith-Pearson hits it. Let's hit the net. Number 1, let's hit the fucking net. That's a goal. That's over the fucking line. We're going to slow this down a bit more. Watch Jordan. Watch Jordan. Bear in mind, we're attacking this goal. I'm going to fucking clear it. The fuck are you doing, you absolute...